Numbers Team presents Chalked Blocked with Bo Big Time McBrayer.
I gotta know what a $5 shake tastes like.
That's hot. That's hot.
I want winners, Bo. You don't know diddly.
And his partner, Scott Stag Simpson.
Do you know who I am?
Trying to put Tiger Bomb on this jungle's nuts.
That's cute. I remember when I had my first beer.
I gotta catch a glimpse of these warlocks. Let's make a move. Let's make a move. Let's make a move.
Hey, you guys, welcome back to Chalk Blocked, the world's sexiest DFS show for now. Nimble with Numbers Production, that's him, Scotty Stacks down here. Up from the DMV, the Beltway Bomber. This is a really big rivalry week for Scott and I. Not only are we doing another Clash of the Beards and Bellies, but my Oregon Ducks are playing against your Maryland Terrapins right now in the Big Ten.
Are we getting bludgeoned?
It was a halftime 21-10, not bad yet. Oregon got like 6 or 8 penalties in the first half, kept it close. Yeah, good. The Terps, the Ducks, I'm afraid, are probably going to run away with this, but good while it lasted. Good to see a basketball school play well in football, aside from a couple really good pros. And in the Thirsty as Fuck Dynasty, we're the top 2 teams in that league, and we're facing off in that league to this week too. And the projections are too close to call. We don't know if it's going to be a red wave, blue wave, yellow wave, purple wave. It's going to be a showdown. Probably. All I know is that you and I are going clashing 3 times this week, and I'm ready for it.
I need some revenge because you're up 5-4 in our head-to-head contest. Yeah, and now. In Thirsty as Fuck, I've not won anything in that league. I've been at the top of the league. I've been doing a good job. Nothing. So, I got some revenge on my mind. I'm not going to lie. And then in your league, I'm not playing you, but I'm terrible in your league too. So there's some god awful, revenge narratives I need to kind of.
Did you see what happened to me last week? I played against Field Yates, our friend of the show. Of course, ESPN NFL insider Field Yates. And I needed 8 points from Bucky Irving on Monday night, and he scored me 7.8. Nice. And I lost to Field by 0.2, and I lost to the median by 0.2. So I took a 0-2 on the week when I had a really good week overall. And of course, this is the week where I think I got a comfortable win anyway because I'm playing a lesser opponent. And of course, that's the week I have Lamar and Jamar Chase go off on Thursday night for 100 and something points. And so, yeah, I could have used those last week. Thanks, guys. I didn't need I mean, I love the points scoring barrage because I do like my playoff position to improve here for the rest of the regular season. But yeah, Jamar Chase and Lamar Jackson on that team would have been really useful to get that 110 points combined from them last week against our friend Field Yates.
Yeah, I'm going to cry you a river there because 0.2 is it's like 2 yards. You needed a yard or 2.
Or, a catch for an 8-yard loss would have done it.
Right, that would have been it too. So, well,
Bucky, just throw one pass to Bucky, and I just let him fall down. I don't care.
Right. In the backfield.
Yeah.
But
no, it was the Rashad White show for that one.
We're here to help you kind of get back your mojo. And what we do every week if we are here. Last week, Bo, by the way, happy anniversary, celebrating with his lovely bride, enjoying the amazing scenery of the snowy Pacific Northwest up in the Cowtown. So I was
Sierra Nevada. Yeah, the Sierra Nevada wilderness up by Mount Lassen, gorgeous. We arrived right as the first snow of the season was falling, and we're talking about silver dollar-sized snowflakes, something I've never seen but like that.
It was beautiful. I was jealous. I told Mike, I said, "Are you watching Bo right now?" I said, "That motherfucker. He's getting the first snow of the season in November." So, yeah, big fan of that. We didn't have a show last week. no show next week. I'll be out of town with my wife celebrating not our anniversary, but the once or twice a month we have sex, so it'll be good. Just yeah.
It's on the calendars. Sorry, no takesy backsies. We have a very strict cancellation policy.
I mean, it's 2 blowjobs if you cancel a sex session. You don't want to get in the hole too many blowjobs.
That's too much work.
Yeah, but here's what we do. We are the world's sexiest DFS show for now. I am 185 and svelte and sexy. I started lifting. My chest is all ripped now. It's sore as hell. I worked out on Thursday, and I can barely even lift up the damage I did to myself here. But with that being said, we run through the Sims every single week using Run the Sims over at runthesims.com. We project who we think is going to be a good play given the chalk that is given, the projection that chalk is given, we should say. And then we kind of make moves and talk about how we should approach this in a GPP build. So, with that being said, we've got 10 games, and I got to say, there's some stinkers and some clunkers on this build. I'm not going to lie. And then there's some good games.
Yeah.
There's some big time totals as well. You got 50 over here. You got a 46, couple of 46s. So, I'm interested to hear what you think about this slate, and we'll start off with Minnesota Jacksonville, which on paper, I can't believe it's only +7. To me, I feel like Minnesota should be +10 in this. Talk me down from the ledge.
Well, so +10 would be without the 3-point home juice that Jacksonville still somehow got. That's just a built-in thing. Every home team gets 3 points of favoritism for being the home team. Unfortunately for the Jaguars, this makes it an extremely easy line to bet for the Minnesota Vikings. +7 is not enough points for me to feel comfortable betting the Jaguars against the spread because they're going to be starting Mac Jones for the first time this season. And the last time I checked, the Minnesota Vikings are known for their defense and they're known for their running game. And the Jaguars are known for the opposite of those two things. Mac Jones against this defense, which is Brian Flores doing the liar's dice defense where they show blitz and they back out, or they show soft zone and they bring the fire zone off the corner or the nickel, and you never know where they're coming from. Or if they're dropping 8 into coverage and your quarterback is like getting happy feet in the pocket when he's just trying to find an open guy with a bunch of guys covering those zones. Mac Jones is a decent quarterback. He's a really good backup quarterback. He's one of the best backup quarterbacks in the league. This is not a good matchup for him, especially since we've seen Tank Bigsby kind of banged up. Travis Etienne been banged up. Evan Ingram's been a star. He might be the guy you want to play for Jacksonville. Brian Thomas Jr., you play him every week, even if he's a little questionable for this one. All indications are Brian Thomas Jr. is going to be healthy and active for this game. So between Ingram and Thomas, fire up those Jaguars receivers, because the Vikings secondary can be exploited. I believe they are among the worst teams at defending wide receivers in fantasy. So it's not all lost for the Jaguars, but it looks a lot better on the purple side.
Yeah. I'm with you there.
Aaron Jones. Have you heard of this guy named Aaron Jones? He's from El Paso, Texas. He's quite good at the football.
Yeah. Speaking of the ranking here, they rank 31st against wide receiver. They've given up.
I was right.
Yards.
I was right. Seems good.
Big time, right? Big time for sure. I think this is an exploitable matchup. I'm a little worried about Mac Jones in general. I do like the Vikings defense. I think that the Mac Jones has got at least 2 turnovers in him. And right now, the Vikings are only 4.7. I could see a 30-10, 33-10, a 33-13, something like that. So I like the defense too. If you want to stack up Aaron Jones and the Vikings defense, that's a nice solid start. If you're going for a mid build there,
the Vikings have this guy that's a pretty decent player that's been lighting it up this year. Leads the league in receiving yards, receptions, and it seems like he's quarterback proof. Jury's still out, but some guy named Justin Jefferson, Jordan Jefferson, the former quarterback of LSU.
I don't know.
Justin, Jordan Jefferson's little brother, Justin, is playing in this game against a Jaguars defense that can't tackle, can't cover, and it seems like he could have a pretty big day. And I'm looking at 11% rostership projection. That is what we call in the industry a smash spot.
Yeah, I actually had him in my lineup against you. I did a double stack originally with him and Jordan Addison. I just thought this is too much.
Ideal, optimal.
Yes.
It's what the kids are saying optimal these days.
I didn't want to beat you by that many, so I pulled him out. I switched the lineup up. I said I'll give him a
You
chance.
pulled
I'll
out-
save this one. I'll save this one for the real game. For the money, the big money.
Yeah.
But I love a double stack.
I'm glad you made sure Addison wasn't in your lineup because that's my daughter. So
Yeah,
she's gonna
that
go
would be
ballistic.
awkward. Thanks for getting those points
Ballistic.
against Dad this week. You've ruined
Yeah.
me, honey.
Oh, she would be grinning ear to ear if she knew that she was a part of that.
She could fuck your shit up. She'd be like, "I'm double down. Put me
Yeah.
in the slot receiver position. I'm going."
Should have known the combination of my name and the best one of the best athletes to ever live would be good.
Smart combination there. I like the fathering, the parenting, parent of the year. But let me ask you a question, and this is the only thing I'm kind of afraid of in this game is, and I think the usage or the rostership is kind of pointing to this, right? Most people think that this is going to be an Aaron Jones game where they run the football. They don't need to unleash the beast of Aaron Donald, not Aaron Donald, of Sam Darnold. Aaron Donald, that'd be great. But Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson and Addison, they don't need to do that, right? But they could.
Yeah,
and so I guess the question is, how does this game go in your mind? Is it a game where they just run the ball, pound the ball, run away with it, and they don't need it? And by the second half, the game's over? Or is it a game where, you're going to see Justin Jefferson go, hey, I love Jamar Chase. He's my dog. He's my guy. I can't let him go off like that. I need to show people I'm the best wide receiver out there. I'm averaging almost 100 yards per game in my career, which is like 16 more than anybody else has ever averaged before. Let me show them I'm the best. So how does this kind of go in that regard?
I have a feeling that the Minnesota Vikings are going to just completely obliterate the Jaguars, which, I mean, in a way, it kind of helps the Jaguars side of things with the game script being pass heavy on their side to keep it maybe closer. I still think it's a 10, 11 point game, like you said, but I think the Vikings are not going to take their foot off the accelerator in this game, which means Jefferson's definitely live for a huge game, just like his best friend Jamar had on Thursday. He's definitely capable of it. They're both amazing, probably the two best receivers in the game, and they're probably pretty competitive amongst one another. I think the one thing that people are kind of getting caught up on is if that happens, I think Mac Jones could be okay. Well, in a vacuum, he could be okay in this kind of game script, but you forget that his play caller is Doug Peterson. And I don't have any confidence at all that Doug Peterson's going to put Mac Jones in the best position to give us fantasy stats. So there are other value quarterbacks here beside Mac Jones, who's going to be, I think, a little bit higher rostered than even these projections suggest because of that game script narrative. He's cheap, 4,400. It's easy to fit into a lineup. I just caution you that if you're looking for 12 to 15 points, that's a good play. If you're looking for anything more than that, remember who his play caller is.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one too. Okay, let's take a look at the next game in our series here. Buffalo at Indianapolis. They're being hosted. Indianapolis, a 4-point home underdog in this matchup. JT getting a little bit of love here. I've noticed that, but maybe not enough love. What do you think about JT 7,500? How you approaching this game?
JT needs to have a huge game. Joe Flacco looked atrocious against Minnesota last week. I predicted it. I correctly called that they would not score an offensive touchdown. Ring the bell for me. They can't do that against the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are a run funnel defense. They have one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. And you have Joe Flacco back there who, let's admit that he had some decent moments before Anthony Richardson came back from injury and then way before the benching, which is controversial. Joe Flacco wasn't good, even when he was putting up those gaudy numbers. Like, if you watch the games, he threw up a bunch of prayers that were all answered, and by blown coverages or just by dumb luck of the ball dropping into the bucket in between three defenders. Alec Pierce, remember that against the Jags? That's what happened with Flacco, and then he turned back into a pumpkin this last week against the Vikings. This Buffalo pass defense is just as good and actually much better at defending the pass than the Vikings are. They're going to heat him up. They're going to force the Colts to try to run the ball, which it should work. On paper, the Bills are bad at stopping the run, and Jonathan Taylor is a great running back. That should work in our favor. And I think that the chalk is appropriate. I don't think it's too high, and I don't think it's a leverage smash spot that I was hoping it would be. Jury's still out on which direction that'll go before lock tomorrow.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is 17%. That's maybe 1 in 5 tournament builds that has
middling
that's
chalk.
Fine. I don't care. Yeah, middling chalk. But then you got Josh Downs, who is kind of emerging as the wide receiver one on that team. But he's 6,200, which is mid range. It's a little more expensive mid range, but he's mid range, and he's 28% roster. That seems a little bit excessive. I'm gonna fade that.
I love Josh Downs, but we're blocking that chalk.
Yeah, I love him too.
That's terrible. 28% for that player against this pass defense is not worth it. Joe Flacco is not your white knight that's going to save the day here and bring back Josh Downs, because we've already seen it on tape now. The way to get Flacco off of his hot streak is just don't let him throw the ball down the field. If you heat him up with blitz packages, which the Buffalo Bills will do, just like the Vikings did last week, he's dead in the water. He's a statue back there.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, is that no Pittman. People are flocking to Mitchell. He's 3,400. That's a pay down option if you're looking for it, but also still 16%. You're hoping for that big bomb, that late game, kind of comeback touchdown, cut to Scott Hansen, cue the hey, they're not dead yet in Indy, are they? But if you don't get that, you're going to be in trouble with him. It's boom or bust completely. And you can see that the optimal leverage is already negative 10%. So, like, if you play him and you fuck around, you're going to find out. So just be careful with that move.
This is not the game to tackle a deep shot wide receiver. Just saying.
The
Bills are all banged up at wide receiver. Their number one wide receiver in this game is going to be Khalil Shakir, who might break the slate just on volume alone.
I like him,
Yeah, 19% Khalil Shakir is what you want. What people are thinking Josh Downs at 28% is going to be a lot of volume. The difference is Khalil Shakir after the catch is a dynamic playmaker, and Josh Downs simply isn't quite that guy. He gets open, but he just goes down because he's a little guy. He's quick, gets open, catches the ball, falls down. Khalil Shakir's quick, gets the ball, and starts trucking dudes like he's Deebo Samuel out there. Khalil Shakir is in a really nice spot in this game as the top receiver. No Cooper, no Curtis Samuel. Everybody's kind of banged up, and even Mac Hollins is a better deep over the bow type wide receiver value than Adonai Mitchell is.
Oh, for sure. I agree completely.
Don't forget about James Cook and Ray Davis either, because the Colts can't stop the run.
They can't stop anybody. We can finally get some Matt Collins in there. And I always like saying Matt Collins because it sounds like my partner in crime, Mike Collins over there.
Mike Collins. Yeah, the same guy. They're both cavemen. I'm pretty sure Mike Collins doesn't wear shoes unless he's forced to either. The foot prisons, as Mac Hollins calls them. He also doesn't use utensils when he's eating. He eats with his hands no matter what. I like to see him eat some soup.
Yes.
He probably just slurps all the soup. Yeah. So Mac Hollins, Mike Collins, they're the same guy.
Yes, cavemen but educated cavemen, like intelligent, really smart.
Yeah, like the Geico caveman. The Geico caveman.
Right.
They're both the same guy.
Like you go home with him. You know what I mean? Like you take the hair out of the toothbrush afterwards. You're like, whatever.
He's definitely rough around the edges, but yeah.
Yeah, he's been on the World's Sexiest DFS show for now a few times, and he didn't de-sex the show, right? He sexed the show. No. So, yeah, he's got the musk, as they say. So, all right, I built a few little tiny builds, Khalil Shakir and Jonathan Taylor being in that build alone. I'm not putting anybody else in from the game.
Any chance you can stack Josh Allen against a bad defense, you probably should do it. So I'm going to be stacking. I'm going to do some Josh Allen. I'm going to do some Josh Allen with James Cook, Josh Allen with Ray Davis, Josh Allen with Dalton Kincaid, who's actually in play this week because of all the wide receiver injuries. of course, with Khalil Shakir and a little bit of Matt Collins. You already did that. But yeah, Ray Davis and James Cook need to be rostered, especially Davis at 5,500. James Cook, of course, 7,000 is expensive, but this dude has got tons of receiving upside in DraftKings PPR format. And this, again, the Colts defense is terrible.
Really terrible, to the point where we haven't had we had a good game last week with the Dolphins and the Bills, but we haven't had Josh Allen kind of go nuclear for a long time. He is down some weapons. Maybe he takes it himself and goes nuclear.
Superman. Yeah. Since Fireball is north of Fresno, it's officially a NorCal guy.
I like.
He grew up a San Francisco Giants fan, so he's at least that NorCal.
Okay, so he's a big Dave Stewart fan. I like it. I'm in. Let's talk about this next game. KC Denver. Denver, man, they got exploited and exposed last week by my guy Lamar Jackson and King Henry. I think Henry's still getting points.
Who doesn't?
Game. Right. Well, I mean, yeah, it was a big exposure, though. Their defense was the top defense in fantasy, right? And so you couldn't even play them. They still might be ranked near the top. But now they go into KC. The emergence of DeAndre Hopkins, some kid out of nowhere. No one's ever seen him. Don't know where he came from. Don't know where he's going.
Sound the alarm.
Yeah.
Sound the alarm. We're on upset alert.
Upset alert. Upset alert. Okay. So, yeah, I was going to ask you, how do you think this game goes at KC? -7 and a hook, right? So you get a touchdown and a little bit of taste on the back end. These games are normally close, but you got you got Bo Nix instead of Russell Wilson, and then you got Patrick Mahomes, a little banged up, but I mean he's going to play, he's going to be fine. How do you project this score wise? They hitting 42? Is it going to be one of those cold unders?
Under, way under. This is gonna be a slobber knocker, as they call it. I'm gonna throw away the chalk on Hopkins because that's chasing last week's points. I'll probably look for some leverage on Travis Kelce because in those close, low-scoring games, he tends to get a lot of low A-dot volume. And the Broncos defense is definitely live here because Patrick Mahomes is prone to turnovers. And they got kind of exposed themselves against the Buccaneers. We thought that they were going to just light it up and blow the Buccaneers' doors off because of all the injuries that Tampa Bay has on both sides of the ball. That didn't happen. They took them to overtime, and they were a coin toss from being right in that game to beat the champs and end their undefeated season. Denver's defense is 10 times better than Tampa Bay's defense. I think they're going to put some real tough friction on Patrick Mahomes in this offense, especially with all the injuries that they're dealing with and playing through. That's a big distinction in this game is Denver is healthy. And Bo Nix at 1%, even if I'm not playing anybody with him, that's a nice leverage quarterback with rushing upside.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a stack attack guy with Bo Nix necessarily, but I do like Courtland Sutton's.
He doesn't have the receivers.
No, but
he doesn't have the receivers
to
stack.
Not a bad play in this game either, given the fact that
yes, he is. Yeah, he's going to get swallowed up by that secondary. Courtland Sutton can't separate against bad corners. He's going to get completely eliminated. I don't think Courtland Sutton will catch a single pass in this game. He's going to be completely obliterated. I hate Courtland Sutton in this game.
Who do you like then, if you don't like Courtland Sutton? Because I think at 5,600, if you're going for anybody, if you're going to play Bo Nix naked, that's scary.
Yeah, I am. That's what I'm saying. Is I'm expecting a very low scoring game where I'm not going to play anybody except for Bo Nix because of the rushing upside. And if I'm going to play anybody in the receiving core, it'll probably be Troy Franklin because of that off chance that he catches a bomb over the top. Yeah, Courtland Sutton is not going to do well in this game. He's just not good enough against these very, very good corners for Kansas City.
I'm not playing him against you, but I do think he has a catch, at least one catch. I will give him one catch.
Really, really tough over there.
You made the projection, though. I'm betting against you.
I know. I'm
underdog,
just, Yeah, I just don't think he gets you there on even at a depressed price. I think he's priced appropriately for a sucker bet to put him into that lineup when you're trying to manage salary. You can get better wide receivers for a little bit cheaper than Courtland Sutton, who have a lot more promise in this slate.
Oh, I agree too. 5,600. Go see Jordan Addison immediately and
yes,
get refunded your money for Courtland Sutton. No, I just like to play devil's advocate. I like to see what you really think sometimes.
Hey.
Get the juices flowing. All right.
You know how aggressive I am, so.
Oh, yeah. That's why I like to bring it out in you. Speaking of aggressive, This game is the lowest total on the board, 38.5. I'm probably not going to see this game very often. But what do you think about the rushing upside of DeAndre Swift in this? He's 6,500. He's going up against a bad Patriots defense. If I'm playing anything, I think I'm leaning Swift. Are you building with Swift? He's 18% roster, which is mid. I mean, it's not too bad.
Yeah, Swift and the Bears defense, which is 3,000 flat. It might be chalky, but I don't care. I'm going to play the stack. I probably won't play the Bears defense solo because of that chalk, but Drake May, obviously 95 yards rushing last week. That's nothing to sniff at. It doesn't affect your defense, your DST scoring to let a guy just run all over you, especially if they're not scoring touchdowns. If I'm playing anybody on the Patriots, it's Ramondre Stevenson. The Bears' run defense is average. Their pass defense is #1 in the league. So I don't expect Drake May to have much upside here, but Ramondre Stevenson does. This is a game where you can see both running backs get there for you and leave the rest alone, because the defenses and the running backs are all you want to play in this game, and it's going to be ugly. You're not going to see much of this game on Red Zone channel.
I was going to say, Scott Hansen is not going to be familiar with the work in this one. It's just not going to be the case.
Although I will throw a couple deep GPP lineups with a Roma Dunze stack with Caleb Williams, because I have this weird suspicion that the trend is that Caleb Williams is going to find Roma Dunze more often in this game, especially if you got DJ Moore or Keenan Allen getting the Christian Gonzalez treatment. The other corners on the Patriots aren't as good as Christian Gonzalez. If Gonzalez is on a Dunze, it's going to be a long day for a Dunze, or just a really cool matchup to watch on tape afterwards. But as far as stats go, we're looking for stats. We're looking for big numbers on the slate. I don't think this game's going to get us there.
That's a good transition over to the next game. I'm not even going to build any stacks in that game because you can't stack defenses.
No.
So, but with that being said, Pittsburgh visiting Washington, we have 45-point total. I think it goes over this total, even though I think Pittsburgh's defense is for real.
It will.
And so I like George Pickens. I noticed that you have George Pickens in your lineup, and I have George Pickens in my lineup. So we both have Pickens.
Son of a bitch.
So I know. So I was like, he won't have George Pickens. I just pulled up your lineup 10 seconds
ago. I've been writing him up all week. And
I try not to read other people's work before I do my builds because I want it to be more, what I think. So I did not even know that, unbeknownst to me. I checked it, and we're picking.
I've always been lukewarm. On George Pickens, but he's made such a huge leap this season that the Commanders did go out and get Marshawn Lattimore. He's not active for this game, so they're stuck with the same old secondary. And yes, give credit where credit is due for Dan Quinn's defense. They've been playing a lot better than their personnel would allow them to do on paper, but this is a different animal. Russell Wilson, not the fantasy dynamo that Justin Fields is, but he's the boring type of guy that Arthur Smith just needs at quarterback for his vanilla, unremarkable offense. We're going to run a dive to the left side with Najee. And then the next play, we're going to be 2nd and 11 because Najee crashed into the back of the left guard. And we're going to run a dive to the right side, and he's going to crash into the right guard. And then we're going to do a play action on 3rd and 11 that they're not even going to fall for. And we're just going to chuck it deep, and George Pickens is going to pluck it out of the sky, and we're going to look like geniuses. That's the Arthur Smith offense, and it's been working.
I like that call. And in Washington, though they haven't given up too many yards, 1,200 yards, 1,280 is okay. The 10 touchdowns, I think Pickens is definitely going to get a touchdown in this game. I can't guarantee it, but I did bet it in a touchdown parlay.
That's what I was just going to say. He's a touchdown parlay beauty. I think he's going to make one. He's going to do it. He's going to do it.
He's going to, as the kids say, he's going to get it in, So, yeah, I like it too in this game.
Cap.
Yeah, no cap. What do you think about stack attacking? Would you build any stacks in this game? We haven't even talked about Jaden Daniels, rookie sensation, 7-2, leading the league in accuracy. He's got Noah Brown, cheap price. What do you think about this build?
I like Noah Brown. I like Terry McLaurin. I like Jaden Daniels. I just hope that he's ready, because the Bears have a great pass defense too. And although they won on that walk-off Hail Mary, that was a slog. It was tough on Jaden. He had his welcome to the bigs kind of moment against a really tough Bears defense. the Steelers defense is even a step up from that with the pressure they can create up front. Jaden Daniels, if he can break contain against TJ Watt and Highsmith, that's easier said than done. Those guys are some of the best pass rushers in the NFL, and they're very disciplined. I think Jaden Daniels is either going to have a really long day where it's like the Bears game, or he's going to blow all our minds with like, oh yeah, this kid is it. He is him. He's going to take the lid off the NFL. He's going to blow away the Rookie of the Year competition, which right now is between him and Brock Bowers. Shout out NorCal. But Jaden Daniels, my God, what a talent! What a talent! And this will be the toughest test he's had to date. And I think he's got the upside, but his floor in this slate is very shaky. So if you got the intestinal or the testicular fortitude to play that Terry McLaurin stack with Jane Daniels, run it back with George Pickens, I think it could be the slate breaking performance you need to win GPP.
I like that call. It's nice and green here in the landing zone, meaning that people are not.
I know.
They're
that's why it's sexy. That I know, but that's what I'm saying. So if you have that fortitude down in your plums, this could be it.
Down in my plums, I can feel it.
I could feel it.
Let the boy watch.
Nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative.
Very much so. No, I do like that. I'm actually playing Russell Wilson against you this week because I think old Russ Bus could get it done against that secondary. It's not a good secondary. He's got Freiermuth as well.
Thanks for the win.
Yeah, then they got Mike Williams coming in as well. So all guys that you hate. I know. We'll see though. We'll see how this goes.
You mean the anti-cat Mike Williams, the anti-cat?
He's not hurt yet.
He never lands on his feet.
Wait until he gets. If he's
he
just
just
not
never.
dead.
I've never seen Mike Williams make a catch and land on his feet.
No, those two things are never happening at the same time. They're not synonymous.
He does not land on his feet. He's the anti-cat.
What do you think about the running back situation in this game? You've got no Brian Robinson again. Austin Eckler, 5,800. He's a little expensive though. Expensive. He's a little rostered, 13%. But Najee Harris might be the play here. He's a little more expensive, but Washington's been giving up some chunk yards. You saw it against the Giants. The week before, they gave up some yards as well. This defense is kind of being able to be pushed around up front at times. Are you into Najee?
Yeah. Najee Harris is in play. It's cheap. That's a lot of touchdown equity in that at that price. I am into Jaylen Warren because the Steelers are coming off their bye. And what teams do on their bye week is they look at film. They look at analytics. They match the two together and they try to figure out, okay, where can we get more efficiency in our offense? Najee Harris had a great first half of the season. Jaylen Warren barely used compared to last year where he was the better of these two backs in efficiency, in yards per touch. Everything was in favor of Jaylen Warren last year. Arthur Smith comes in. He goes, we're going to play smash mouth football, and we're going to give the ball to Najee Harris 80% of the time. That hasn't really been that efficient. Jaylen Warren in his limited action has been, again, much more efficient than Najee Harris. He's a much better receiver. He's got more dynamic movement to him. He can score from more places on the field than Najee Harris can. Jaylen Warren's going to get a big spike in snap share, in touches, and of course, with his ability, he's going to be as kind of a dark horse upside play on the slate.
I almost played him against you. I did not. I went somebody else, but we'll see how he plays out.
Is Jeremy McNichols actually playing? I need to know because Jeremy McNichols has been injured himself, and if he's still hurt, which it looks like he's playing, then I think Chris Rodriguez might be the play instead of him.
Yeah, that was the play last week. I think I put Rodriguez in zero lineups. I put McNichols in a few, just trying to pay down, and he didn't even play. Yeah. So that was a little disheartening. Right. Some of those GPP builds. So make sure, find out who's available. Is he min price? Is he 4K?
Yes.
Yeah, that'll help. I did forget to mention, in this Bears game, your boy Swift. they did trade away Khalil Herbert, right? And if this game gets going and Chicago runs away from them, Roshan Johnson might have might have a little bit of play down here at 46.
He's still their goal line thumper, even though he hasn't gotten a lot of chances because the Bears offense, thanks Shane Waldron. Shane Waldron is in way over his head. He had no business getting any offensive play calling job after what he did in Seattle last year. Leave it to the Bears to hire a guy who completely flubbed and failed all season last year for Seattle, and he gives him a job with a rookie quarterback and the best weaponry the Bears have ever had. Good job, Shane. You completely blew it. You have no idea what you're doing out there. That's what worries me about the Bears, is Shane Waldron is so bad at his job that he might drag that whole team down with him.
You know it's bad when the local radio here in Maryland is bemoaning Shane Waldron. Like you would even know who he is. A cauldron of Waldron. They were stewing up here in Maryland. They were skewering him right in time for Hocus Pocus Halloween. Just talking about what a terrible play caller he is for the offense and just how he's structuring everything.
It's the play calling. It's the game planning. It's the structuring. He's famous for not scripting the first 15 plays, which some coaches like Kyle Shanahan will do 25, 30 plays scripted because he can get it done with his quarterback. Shane Waldron doesn't even script any plays to start the game. So what does that tell you about how prepared his rookie top pick quarterback is going to be when he gets certain looks? If you walk through into scrimmages on Thursday and Friday practice, guess what you're going over? You're going over those 15 plays, and you're going to go over, okay, what if they're in cover 3? What if they're showing nickel blitz? What if they're showing pinch line? What if they're showing wide 9 line? What if they're doing this? What if they're doing that? What are we going to do? What are you going to check to? He doesn't do any of that. What are they doing? And
so it's like you're flying
quarterback,
blind. You got no what
you're
could
flying
happen.
blind, or you're saying, hey, kid, good luck.
Right.
They're showing an all-out pressure, and you have no hots, and your protection is not going to be able to pick it up.
Not good.
It's an absolute affront to the profession what Shane Waldron's doing in Chicago.
Yeah. Well, thankfully, he's not in this game. And we moved on to Atlanta, New Orleans, and we've got the case of two precariously perched pricey running backs here. Bijan Robinson, 7,700, Alvin Kamara, 81. And I say that because they're both going to get volume. We know that. They're both going to get touches. It's kind of like, which one do you think is going to get the most points per dollar? And right now, Bijan is under rostered at only 20% to 29%. So I'm leaning Bijan myself. How are you approaching these guys?
Well, let's give background on why is Alvin Kamara getting so much attention.
There's nobody left. Alive. Everyone's dead. Yeah. It's like the Walking Dead.
His quarterback is Derek Carr, so you know it's check down city. He's got Taysom Hill, and he's got about 17 other tight ends, and Mason Tipton and Marquez Valdez-Scantling out wide.
And Perry.
That's why
AT super.
No, Perry is on the Denver Broncos practice squad now.
Oh,
they cut him
not good.
Before all the wide receivers got hurt. They cut Perry. Then all the receivers got hurt, and you were like, "Oh, Perry would have been great here." He's on the Denver Broncos now.
That's good to know.
So yeah, the Saints front office, Mickey Loomis, great job, general manager of the year. At least you finally fired the worst head coach in the league, Dennis Allen. Kudos to the Saints for finally getting that done. What a terrible head coach. But I'm still leaning Bijan Robinson here. He's in a mega smash spot. This Saints run defense is non-existent, and Bijan is on a tear. If you look at each week, Bijan's putting up 20 plus, 20 plus, 20 plus. He might put up 30 plus this week because that's just what he does. He's so good in both facets. He's great at blitz pickup. And wouldn't you know, I'm also going to have a lot of Tyler Algier, because I think the Falcons run away with this one, and they're gonna give Algier a lot of work against the same terrible run defense the Saints have. 1% at 5,200 with the guy who's gonna get at least 10 carries. I like to see that spot because he does get goal line carries. They don't give all of them to Bijan, even though we'd like to see that. That's the Falcons do respect that Algier isn't Bijan, but he's pretty damn good himself.
Yeah, and the same kind of goes for the Saints. They don't give all their goal line carries to Alvin Kamara, even though he had like 6 touchdowns on Christmas one time. Taysom Hill. And 4K for Taysom Hill. I'm surprised he's not 20% rostered. I'm playing him. You're playing him against me as well. So I do think they do lean a little Taysom. I think he's good for 4 or 5 red zone carries, which he
is
need.
going to be a top 5 tight end on the slate, and I'll go out and say he will be the number 1 tight end in points per dollar.
It's not hard to imagine him throwing a touchdown, catching a touchdown, and rushing for a touchdown type. That's what he's going to have to do. He's going to be Jim Thorpe for them to have any chance in this game. Him and Kamara are going to have to do everything.
Yeah. George Blanda.
Right.
He's going to kick the extra
Back in
point,
my
too.
day, Taysom Hill scored all the touchdowns.
We're going to find out years later that Taysom was always playing with a leather helmet.
So funny. That's hilarious. I do want to build some stacks.
Years later.
Many years later, scientists will discover that Taysom Hill was a cyborg. Great.
He's the Mormon missile for a reason.
So I do want to build some stacks, though. Our boy Kirky Cousins has been on fire. I know Drake London's coming off a bit of a hip pointer, a bit of an issue. What do you think about Darnell Mooney in this matchup? I like Mooney. Do you like Mooney as well?
How could you not like Mooney?
Weirdos
He's
don't
done
like
nothing
Mooney,
but thank goodness he got out of Chicago. Darnell Mooney, if you remember when he was a rookie out of Tulane and he was dusting Ramsey when he was playing, remember that the Rams and Bears game? And he got this skinny rookie out of Tulane putting the afterburners on a deep post corner route and leaving Jalen Ramsey in prime. Jalen Ramsey left him in his skid marks. And I was like, well, who's this guy? I mean, I knew who he was, but I didn't think he was that good. And now he's actually in an offense that puts the ball down the field in his best skill set. They're moving Kyle Pitts in line more, which is great because he can run routes against linebackers. That's why Kyle Pitts overall this season has been trending upward. Really quiet game last week. That leaves him leveraged this week. Darnell Mooney running that flanker off the line of scrimmage role, leaving Drake London to run the power. This is Zach Robinson's offense. He's a Sean McVay disciple. Drake London playing that Cooper Kupp role is so perfect. So perfect.
I'm into this. Him in that role, and then with Kirk kind of coming out as being able to unleash the beast again. The beast. Kyle Pitts, 4,800, and you said leverage spot for sure. 2% rostership. That's good, kids. You want that.
Yeah. Have you seen the Saints linebackers? They're all like 5'0",
like
shortos.
They're like little tiny John Favre's.
But you would think little John Favreau's would be faster. They're not. They're super slow, and they can't tackle. That's why the run defense sucks so bad. This might be a repeat of that Tampa Bay game where you see Kyle Pitts running like a gazelle that he is and scoring multiple touchdowns, especially with Drake London not 100%. It could be the Bijan, Mooney, and Pitts show and letting Drake London do his thing as a decoy with a sore hip.
Yeah. This game might be your onslaught if you're building an onslaught lineup.
Yes,
pick 2 or 3
excellent choice.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'm glad we're in agreement.
And running back with Taysom Hill for the freedom.
Right.
Taysom Hill run back for freedom.
And the salary relief too. You know what I mean? Like
God, it's so good.
You're getting so sexy.
You could run a double tight lineup for $8,800.
Yeah, that's 6. I mean, I did a George Kittle Taysom Hill stack against you. So it is, but
Kittle's so cheap.
You did a Taysom Hill Saquon Barkley stack against me. That's filthy. Fuck you.
You knew that was coming.
You're secretly your favorite team here in your own backyard, San Francisco. You know you love them.
I love them this week.
There is some rostership in this matchup.
So does everybody else.
Yes, I'm saying so does everybody else. Debo 16%. I like Debo at 6,900. Purdy the most expensive or the most rostered QB here, so he's expensive chalk wise.
Yep.
And then McCaffrey only 13%. I was surprised by that. How are you kind of shaking out this 49ers team?
Knowing that he's only 8K for the last time we'll ever see him this low at 13%, he's going to be in half of my lineups. It's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, it is.
It's Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, Ed McCaffrey's son, folks. Come on.
Yeah. Seriously, it's a no-brainer. You play Christian McCaffrey. You start your lineup with Christian McCaffrey. You build your life savings around Christian McCaffrey, and he will come through with a massive performance against a truly remarkably terrible defense in Tampa Bay. This whole offense, the 49ers are going to have to score 30 plus to beat the Bucs because the Bucs offense is for real. Liam Cohen, amazing play caller. Even without their top two wide receivers, they're scoring points on good defenses. The 49ers defense is okay. It's not nearly what it used to be. They are really struggling to tackle people. I think that the Bucs can beat the 49ers through the running game and Baker Mayfield on play action. That's a very real thing that could happen. Both of these teams only have 4 wins. I think the Bucs are the better overall team, but Christian McCaffrey is the X factor. And so he makes everything. He is the rising tide. He lifts all the boats. He raises the Brock Purdy for sure. He raises the Deebo Samuel because those low A-dot quick screens mean more when Christian McCaffrey's on the other side. The Ricky Pearsall over the middle of the field, he's more effective because Christian McCaffrey's on the field. George Kittle is more effective with him on the field. It's all going to rise, and this is a smash spot for another onslaught type lineup if you want to make it around the 49ers weapons. The Bucs are going to be game. This is your game stack opportunity. Even though it's got some chalk around it, I don't see a lot of people really going heavy game stack in this game because of the risk that the Bucs running game kills that clock down. And of course, the 49ers don't run fast offense, and they love to run first too. So there is that risk of a lower scoring, fast moving game. But I think that we're more likely to see a shootout where it blows 50.5 out of the water.
What do you think about K. Dotton at 55? He's priced up, but he's also getting 10 targets a game now.
What's his rostership?
13%, and that's not too bad.
Too damn high. There's too many good tight end plays. I'm going to fade that chalk.
I mean, for 300 more, you can get Kittle.
Right, and Kittle has much more upside. More upside.
Yeah, Kittle has after the catch abilities. He's got that yak. Not that Otten can't stumble and bumble, but he's more going to be that in the red zone, in the end zone target.
Otten has to get there with volume.
Yeah, and touchdowns. He's got to get the touchdowns, whereas Kittle can take one catch, 80 yards for a touchdown, and get on one play. He can get you something like that.
He did it to my Cowboys when I was in person.
I'm so sorry.
He had like 150 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was fun to watch because he's awesome, and nobody doesn't like George Kittle.
All right, let's pull a stack or two here from this game. How are you, if you're building that big game stack, are you putting a QB in, or are you leaving the QBs out and just kind of building with the weapons?
I'm going to do QB in. It's going to be Brock Purdy. Although Mayfield will be in some lineups, I'm more favoring Brock Purdy even at 15% rostered.
Okay, I put a little Brock Purdy, Deebo, George Kittle, and Bucky Irving together here. It's a little bit of an onslaught, but you get that RB upside
get some lineup
PPR.
with CMC in the stack. Christian McCaffrey needs to be in a couple stacks too. He's back. Christian McCaffrey is back. Nico Collins is back, but he's on the Sunday night game, so we don't get to put him on the main slate. I'm excited to play you in the Thirsty as Fuck Dynasty. That's a Clash of the Titans right there. Our teams are loaded.
We've got some good teams. I'm not gonna lie.
Your Terps are hanging in there.
What's the score now?
It's 8:44 left in the fourth. and it's 29-18 Oregon. So only 11-point spread.
That's
I believe
not
the
bad.
spread was minus 23. Minus 23. So if you bet Maryland to cover, it's looking really good.
You know, Maryland hasn't been good since the fridge was here, Ralph Friedgen, and that's when I went to Maryland back in the day, long time ago. And I did love those times. They got destroyed in the Gator Bowl by Florida, annihilated. That were their best seasons they had to the fridge here. But man, they were fun to watch, and you nailed it. They've got great skill position players from Vernon Davis to our guy,
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs. You ever heard of somebody named Moore out of Chicago? You ever heard of him?
DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ.
Yeah.
He plays the turntables. So I do like it. Jordan Addison as well. They got good wide receivers, and Sean Merriman came out of there too. So they've had some good players come out. But we digress. Let's talk about another low total game. This is Tennessee. Man, wow. Ooh, Tennessee could really lose their soul in this game. This might be a game where the Chargers win 45-0 or something like that. I don't know. How are you approaching this game? Because it's a 7.5-point spread, but I think it should be more, honestly, with a terrible QB play Tennessee has, and they've been playing better. Mason Rudolph's better than Will Levis, but it's still not good.
Well, that's a very low bar. Levis back in here. The Chargers defense is number one against quarterbacks. I think the Titans have to keep feeding Tony Pollard. It's been very effective for them. Unfortunately, Calvin Ridley doesn't get much upside with Will Levis throwing the ball because Will Levis is awful. I still think Will Levis is one of your best upside plays on a budget in GPP. That's the funny part is Will Levis has upside. He's got that wild flair to him where he can put up a big game where nobody else has him at 4,900. I think he's a better deep shot play than who are we talking about earlier? Mac Jones. Yeah, I'd rather have Will Levis upside than Mac Jones upside if you're going sub 5K. That being said, it's not going to be very many lineups because Will Levis is not good. Justin Herbert, 5,200 is almost too tempting because 13% is a little high.
People are getting
it's
tempted.
a good it is value. It's a great cash play. I believe I have him against you. I can't remember. Let's see. I already forgot. Yep, Justin Herbert is my quarterback in the clash. So yeah, value, points per dollar, it's there. Maybe the chalk is too heavy for tournament play, but Herbert, you forget, is a very good runner who plays in a Jim Harbaugh offense. I think that the Titans cover the spread. It's too big. The Chargers are too conservative to really blow out anybody, especially a team with a good defense like Tennessee. Tennessee's defense is serviceable. They can stop or slow down the Chargers to keep this game within a touchdown. I do think it goes under 39. This is going to be like your 21-17 game.
Okay. I'm going to agree and disagree at the same time. I think it's a 23-3 game or a 23-7 game.
Yeah.
Or even,
he hates Tony Pollard that much.
I know. I like Tony Pollard. I understand the game script. He's going to have to keep the ball on the ground. This is going to be a game that's over before it starts. It'll be done around 6:45.
Yeah, it'll be fast.
Right, fast. But at the same time, I think there's a scenario here where Will Levis gifts a pick six. He fumbles the football on a roll. He does something stupid, and it just gets away from him.
He does that every game.
Exactly.
He does that every game.
Exactly. Yes.
I am going to throw a couple lineups with Quentin Johnston, who is a blown coverage merchant. He is the next Gabe Davis. He's athletically gifted. He's great after the catch, and it seems like defenses forget to cover him. That's just what he does. He just disappears, and of course, Justin Herbert's going to find you if you're wide open.
He learned to catch between the preseason and now too, so that was kind of good.
Yeah, he's using his hands finally, which is nice.
Right, instead of his face mask. So he's picking up on things. I mean, you could
or shoulder pads. He tries to catch the shoulder pad sometimes too.
Yeah, he's just not use your belly button next time. That's easier. So, yeah. Well, next, I didn't want to have to go to this game because but we have to. It's part of the show. We got to do it. your boys, they still play, even though Dak is dead. His hamstring's off the bone for turkey Thanksgiving dinner.
He's been slow cooked for hours.
It's not good. It's dripping the juices. Yeah. How are you? How are you coping? First of all, as a Cowboys fan. Second of all, Cooper Rush season. What's going to happen with this offense? I've got no clue.
No, nobody knows. I don't even think Mike McCarthy knows because he doesn't know even when everybody's healthy. This is a terrible football team with Dak. They're even worse without him. Cooper Rush is okay. Cooper Rush has been a winning backup quarterback. He's fit in pretty well before. This offense just doesn't have any upside at all without Dak Prescott. CeeDee Lamb is a good play. He's not a great play. Philadelphia is exploitable, but who else do they need to cover? Jake Ferguson? Yeah, play CeeDee Lamb or Jake Ferguson. Everybody else is dead. This game's going to be ugly. Go with the top 2 pass catchers in case it gets out of hand, which is very likely to happen because the Eagles' offense is awesome and the Cowboys' defense is meh.
I mean, what's crazy here, right, is that it's a 43.5 point total, so it's a lower total. But
a lot of suckers playing Cooper Rush this week.
No, but you don't even have 2% of people playing. Like Saquon Barkley at 10%, he should be at 30%, right? Or so what? Like they're not even. It's ridiculous. I don't understand. People aren't even predicting this game to be any points.
So you would be alarmed at how many of my lineups go Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Swift, and then I just fill it in out after that.
I mean, when you got the nuts, what do you need anything else to do? You know.
Saquon Barkley at 10% against this defense is hilarious. That's hilarious. That's free money.
And I think it's also funny that if you want to play Devontae Smith or Dallas Goedert, either one of them, Devontae Smith's expensive, but Dallas Goedert 1%. Either one of those guys 1%.
AJ Brown 3%.
What is happening here? This game is just being ignored by bettors because they don't know what's going to happen. That's stupid. At least go Saquon.
You know, I at least know what's going to happen when the Eagles are on offense. They're going to score a lot of points.
They're going to do well. Right. Maybe the Jalen Hurts injury disclosed this week is giving people a little bit of pause, even though his performance has offered. I mean, I don't know. But,
you know what that means? I fire up the onslaught because I don't think it's a problem.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. All right, last game, intriguing. We finally got an Aaron Rodgers W. Right, I was hoping he would not win for the rest of the season because I want to see him implode and just his head explode on the field this year. I thought it'd be great drama. But he did get a win, and now maybe the monkey's off the back and the snide's gone. But the ownership is not. This is the most rostered game, if not. And everybody from Rodgers to Wilson to Adams to Connor to Hall, they're all there, all the prime suspects. So this game looks enticing. Yeah. Are you biting at the old New York apple?
No, I think they'll be fine. I'm playing Breece Hall in cash. I'm playing Aaron Rodgers in cash. The receivers, I think, kind of cancel each other out in a game like this against Arizona. But looking at 6% Trey McBride, that's so nice.
Yeah,
Trey McBride 5,700, a little bit high price, scares away a lot of people. The Jets defense has not been great against tight ends. They're great against wide receivers. They're pretty good at stopping the run. They're not great against tight ends, and I really think that Trey McBride could have a huge game. And I'm still not giving up on Marvin Harrison because with how much man coverage and press coverage the Jets run, that's Marvin Harrison's wheelhouse. He's destroying press coverage this year. He's number 3 in the league in yards per target against press coverage. It's a reception perception miracle. So if the Jets do the stupid thing and stick Sauce Gardner or DJ Reed on an island against Marvin Harrison, it's going to smell like barbecue.
He's going to get some burnt beef. He's going to get some burnt ends there.
Yep.
How you want to stack this game? Because I do think there's some stacks available. You taking the QBs out of the mix if you do. That's kind of my thought.
I like Kyler's upside. It's not a safe play, but we're not safe players in GPP. Kyler Murray has all the upside here. So I will have some stacks with each of these quarterbacks, but like you said, it's better to play the weapons we know are going to be good independent of their quarterback's performance. Harrison, Brees Hall, Trey McBride. James Conner is an okay plug and play in cash, but the Jets are tough on running backs. So maybe moderate the expectations because yes, he does lead the NFL in missed tackles forced. He's way ahead of the next best guy, but it's not sustainable for a guy at his age, at his injury history, against a tough defense that actually does tackle well. The Jets are among the best teams at keeping things in front of them. So I do think that this game could be disappointing for the people who are eating all that chalk on Devontae Adams and Garrett Wilson, even though of course both of those guys are spectacular players. I think there's better plays on this slate that we can exploit without as much of the sharing of the points with everybody else in the field.
Yeah, I was going to say, too, like you're cannibalizing each other, those two wide receivers. If you have one or the other, I think if one of them's out, you go, oh, my gosh, Devontae Adams to the moon this week or other way with Garrett Wilson. So I think just eating into each other. Someone could have 2 touchdowns and someone could both have 1 touchdown or they could, it could skew. So I think that's smart. All right, let's.
If I had my choice, it would be Garrett Wilson.
Okay, I like that. Let's run the Sims. Let's see what we got here. What in the what? Oh, we did it again. I did it again. I ran him twice.
Rakeem.
Oh no. Okay, well that's
Rakeem
better. Rakeem Jarrett. I don't think I'm playing him, but okay. What do we see here?
The Bucks. Too many Buccaneers. Oh, Josh Allen, DeAndre Swift, Jonathan Taylor, Khalil Shakir, Hopkins, Kittle. I like that one. Yeah, that one could work. The one up there with Jaden Daniels, Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Khalil Shakir, Travis Kelce, George Kittle. Ooh, what's fun. A lot of Sam Darnold. I don't think I like Sam Darnold's upside this week. It's kind of a trap. Ooh.
What about
Josh Allen, James Cook stack?
Yeah, I saw that one.
It's got the 2 Bucks receivers I don't like, but Josh Allen, DeAndre Swift, Aaron Jones, Khalil Shakir. That one. Without Will Dissly.
What about this one here? I like this one. Kirk Cousins, Aaron Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Hopkins, Shakir, Shepard, Kittle, Kyle Pitts, Bearsty. Ooh.
Yes.
This is a good one. Ooh.
The one with Dissly and Hill, yeah.
Yeah.
Kyler, Jaden Daniels, Brees Hall, Bijan, Pickens, Brown. Yeah, they really like the Bucks receivers value at least.
Yeah, they do. They're paid down.
The run the Sims is great, except you can filter it differently, but the default really does lean into points per dollar more than anything.
Yeah, it's true. You got to kind of maybe shade
there
the
are some
upside.
plays here that aren't. Yeah, you can do it. The filters and the sliders on Run the Sims are second to none.
Yeah, you just go in here and you just change what you kind of want. We can look at optimal rates there, but we can change it and we'll generate the lineups. Now, we'll see if there's a little bit of a difference, right? Give them the optimal.
That's what I like to do. It's still like Shepard, which I don't mind Sterling Shepard. He's a good player. Herbert, Taylor. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I like the Herbert.
I like
Taylor,
the Josh
Jones.
Allen lineups are coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. QJ. Swift in the flex. Yes, let's do that.
Swift in the flex. All right.
Ooh.
It has been decided, as they say.
Uh-huh.
All right. Let's pull up. This is my personal email, so you get to see in
Clash.
All right, here we go. We'll start with you because
40% off Rhino Horn.
Definitely. What? Penis mightier. Who?
It's not my baby, I swear.
Oh, did you? I love the Shane Gillis SNL thing where he's a Green Bay Packers anal butt plug thing. It's like, why is it such a specific ad?
That dude is so funny.
So let's talk you through. We talked about some of these players. Surprise, surprise! You've got a lot of the players that you liked in your show, in your build.
Weird. Yeah, so Herbert points per dollar in a cash game, 5,200 against. It's a good defense for Tennessee. They're the only redeeming quality of the Tennessee Titans is their defense is pretty decent. But Justin Herbert, 5,200, it's just too cheap. He's got rushing upside. He's got his offense is humming. This Jim Harbaugh / Greg Roman offense is humming. The Chargers are playing great football right now. Both sides of the ball. I think Herbert has more upside than we think. Of course, Christian McCaffrey's back. Everybody's happy. Everybody's happy. Even your 2-7 squads are going to maybe win out to make the fantasy playoffs as a 6th seed. DeAndre Swift, of course, against the New England Patriots defense. That's a smash spot. Mac Hollins, QJ are just value plays with a little bit of upside. QJ with the stack, just in case the Titans let it lapse like everybody else does against Quentin Johnston. George Pickens, we're both all in on that guy this week. Let's pray for rain. George Pickens, don't burn us this week, please. Taysom Hill, same thing. $4,000. It's too cheap. He's a top 5 tight end. When he's healthy, and the Saints have nobody else.
Yeah, no.
And some guy named Saquon Barkley in my flex. Sorry, good luck with that.
Who?
Good luck.
Who?
Against the Dallas Cowboys, who, as you can see, are 29th at defending running backs. Not great, Bob.
I hate your guts.
Yeah. And the Bears defense because it stacks with Swift and the Patriots are not good. Bijan. Yeah, who else is he going to throw to?
Definitely into both those gentlemen, Roshan and Bijan. And then I did go Jordan Addison. I think they're going to crush them in this game. And 5,300, that's just that's ridiculous. That's stealing.
That's weird. That's a weird price.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, he should be like
Debo.
59. I got Debo and Kittle. I think this game they're both going to eat. So you've got McCaffrey. Yeah. So it just comes down to who gets the touchdowns in this. If I get Kittle and Debo touchdowns, you get McCaffrey touchdowns. And then I went Taysom and the Bears. So we do have a couple of overlaps here with Pickens, Taysom Hill, and the Bears. I'm disappointed. I was hoping I would be unique enough in my build, and I stayed away from your stuff.
Well, but last week we only matched the quarterbacks, and it was a close matchup at the end. Even then, it was like last week was the most intriguing matchup we had, even with no show. We had one match, and it ended up being super, super duper close.
You were coming back the whole time, and I was just like, no, God, and you didn't beat me finally. I was so excited.
Yeah,
but
it was really close because at first, like I checked it in midday, and it was you were blowing me out, but then I had a couple huge games in the late window, so it was close. I almost got you. We both had great lineups last week. That was
It was a really good show. So, hey, listen, everybody go check
follow
us out.
Chalk Block.
Yeah, go
follow
follow
Chalk
us.
Block. Follow Nimble with Numbers. You should subscribe to this channel.
Yes, please do. We're growing, and
I think we both lost some followers on Tuesday.
I'm okay with losing some followers on Tuesday. What's more important is that we have a democracy and we have lack of misogyny would be my word for it. Love for women, love for everybody. And, I'm going to try to do my part. I'm going to try to not skew as much vitriol against the people who are spewing vitriol themselves. Try to combat hate with love. We'll see how it goes.
Here in California, we have the opposite problem, and it's still problems. We got our own problems. Lots of them.
Well, thank you for checking us out, everybody. I appreciate you guys. Scott and Bo will be back in 2 weeks. And I'll be a little drunk because I'll be coming in hot off of a beer club event at my house. People might be in the background kind of leaving as we start the show. Maybe we'll start at 9:30. I don't know. But I'm going to be super excited. Please let us know tomorrow how you're doing. If you're winning, all the friends out there, Craig, hook us up. Brendan, hook us up. Let us know what's going on. Jabin,
shoot us some head-to-heads. I don't mind doing some head-to-heads tomorrow. I took down one of the showdown lineups last week, so I got a little extra bankroll to play some head-to-heads, and let's see what you guys are made of.
By the way, we haven't talked since I won my 2K plus on tight end whispering. By the way, me and tight ends, I don't know what it is. Tight ends and
It was on
touchdowns.
National Tight End Day.
It was just, it was, so I'm ready for the Trump economy. I'm gambling, baby. Let's go. All right, we'll see you
Wasn't
guys.
Kyle Pitts was part of that parlay, was he not?
No, I took him out. If he would have been in there, I would have won 7K.
Oh,
I know.
Oh.
I was like, this is too many. This is too many tight ends. I was like, I don't want to be
you
greedy.
rich idiot.
Don't
You
want to
rich
be greedy.
idiot.
I only want to win 2K. I don't want to win 7K.
I
so.
take everything I say back because your detractors